So you got any advice for your former coaching colleague? He reckons you've been giving him donuts.
That Toddy, let me win would be the first. No, listen, he's an outstanding guy, Todd. And funny thing about it, Melbourne could do a lot worse and have Todd Viney as their head coach. I think he's an outstanding individual and probably embellishes exactly what Melbourne are after in a coach. So look, he's an outstanding individual.
So you sit back in the last 3 or 4 weeks and watch everything that's evolved at other clubs and that as a coach yourself, and just think, man, this really is a tough game.
Yeah, it is. Look, you obviously look at Rocket. Obviously, yesterday he's been in the game 15 years, I think, and he's an outstanding coach. And look, he's obviously been at the Bulldogs for 7 years, and to come off 3 prelims and have probably a year that was probably destined to have him with the injuries they had, it's slightly disappointing. But look, I've got no doubt he's an outstanding coach, and someone will snap him up very, very quickly for mine.
You've had second thoughts? What the hell you got yourself into here, Dylan?
Oh, listen, it's part of the industry, and I think every assistant coach, whether if you've got that drive in you to try and get to the top, it's part and parcel of the job, and we live with it every day, and some days are better than others, obviously after a win. But look, it's part and parcel, and we deal with it and we move on.
Rocket said yesterday that it's a results-driven game. Have we gone too far in that regard?
Well, probably to a degree. I think the media does drive it a lot as well. It's probably an easy story to write with a coach sacking somewhat. Like, I look at Rodney and I think he's a guy that has done this for 15 years, has missed the finals not a hell of a lot. He's an outstanding coach. So, look, it's just part and parcel of the gig, and we know what we're getting into when we take the job on board. So that's what it is.
Speaking of results, you had a pretty handy win on the weekend, and you'd just be wanting to finish off the season in the right manner, I would have thought. Yeah,
it was. Look, the guys finally got some reward for effort. We thought they played some really good footy, got our intensity back in our game, which is has been missing for a little while, and does happen with the inconsistency of young sides. And the pleasing thing for us was a number of things we've been working on in the last 4 to 5 weeks has started to come out in our games again, which is good. And we played relatively similar the way we played probably our first 10 rounds. So yeah, hopefully we finish off with a wet sail.
A lot of people will say there's not a lot riding on it for you, but inside the next 3 weeks really sets up your future, doesn't it?
Happy birthday to you!
You're an idiot.
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to Jim! Happy birthday to you!
Thank you. Terrific.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
50 years old.
50. Get out, you blokes. I've got to start this all again now, you idiots.
So who's first to...
This is your group band's voice stuff? Unbelievable. Here. Well, unbelievable. Yeah.
So who's...
I don't think a press conference has ever been interrupted like that.
Oh, no. They're a terrific group. I've got to give them credit, and that's one thing they do is they're always upbeat, and that's the great thing about coaching this group. They're a terrific bunch of fellas.
So do you dare drop Jet Riewoldt, because he's clearly a ringleader of that one? There's got to be 3 or 4 that are suddenly
he's doing a fair job of it, isn't he? Did they take the cake or did they leave it?
No, they left it there.
Yeah.
They ambushed the coach. Can they do the same on Sunday to Melbourne?
Yeah, I think so. Look, we're really confident. They're a side that we haven't beaten yet in my tenure here. So we've sort of got thereabouts a couple of times they've kicked away from us. So we're really looking forward to the challenge. And Melbourne are obviously in a stage at the moment very similar to us. So it's a good game, and it'll be a good battle for us.
How do you
I'm looking
feel
forward
you
to
match
it. Oh, we feel we match up well. I think last time they kicked away. I think it might have been the third quarter. They got a couple of goals over the back, so that's something they do really well. So we'll obviously make some plans for that come this week.
You spoke about how a few things have come to fruition that you've been working on, during your lean period. Can you give us an idea of the, say, 2 or 3 things you really want to see out of Sunday?
Look, probably the thing that we've focused on is getting our defensive intensity back. It probably fell away over the course of that 4 to 5 week block, which through the colder months, and it's happened on a number of sides. Essendon, probably an ultimate example of it, went away from it, started to get that stuff back in their game, and we're no different. So that's something we've really focused on, and the guys took it up a level last week, which was great. And no qualms in that's what eventually got us over the line. So that's something we'll be looking to do on Sunday afternoon.
Anything you can tell us in regards to selection? Anyone coming in or anything you have to?
Oh, look, Jake Batchelor will obviously go out. He's
Yeah.
probably the one guy that will definitely go out. But look, it's relatively hard to change a winning lineup, which is something you love to have as a coach. So look at a number of our guys that have put their hand up to play. You know, Webley was good again. White was okay, as was O'Reilly. So probably between one of those three will come in at some stage.
Bachelor season finished?
Yeah, it is, which is unfortunate, but he's had a terrific season thus far, and you know he's a guy that we think is going to be a great long-term prospect for us, and will, you know, help drive us to where we need to go. So you know we've found a number of those players this year, and you know, like you said, the win-loss column is the easy thing to look at, but it's the incremental development of certain players that we've been really pleased with this year.
But it's also, sorry, I was going to say, it's also relationships too, isn't it? And that's something that you earn over a period of time with the players.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that the one thing that's changed in my time, hasn't changed in my time in footy, is the relationship with you build with your players. And if you generally come together as a coaching group and a playing group, it'll generally take you a long way to where you want to go. And I think that's something we're starting to develop here. And you know, they don't buy me birthday cakes every day, but a muffin every now and then is nice. But look, they're a terrific bunch of fellas, and you know, together with Benny Gale and our board, you know, I think we're on a club that is well and truly on the right track.
Just the question was asked just before the little interruption, but you know, the last few games of the season, you'd really want to see them, you know, in terms of the development of this team. It actually is pretty important now. You've had that big win, had the lean period, and you really want to show something heading into next year. Yeah,
there's no doubt. Look, there's certain players that are playing really, really well. Obviously, we've got a number of injuries still that, you know, we can't bring those guys back. But the great thing about it is we've got guys that are now stepping up. You know, Matty D comes in last week and 2 weeks ago and has played outstanding footy. You know, goes unheralded with a lot of other people. But the things he does is been very good for us. And you know, we'll bring another guy in to give another opportunity with Batchelor coming out. So, you know, there's a number of players that are looking forward to putting a foot forward for next year, so to speak. And as a team, we're trying to do the same thing.
Does that mean the players may be playing for their futures as well?
No, not really. I think most players are generally playing to get the team over the line. You know, the unfortunate thing in footy is that does happen. But look, there's guys, you know, they're playing for their futures. Round 1, round 22, it's exactly the same. They're just out there, and as I said previously, the great thing about our group is they put their best foot forward and try and get the Richmond Footy Club over the line, and don't play on an individual basis. Otherwise, they don't play.
Damien, on Jack Riewoldt, during the week, he said he didn't think his season had been above 65%. How would you rate his season?
Well, it was probably 60 before the birthday cake, probably 70 after. So, look, he from a goals point of view has been down. His score assists are more than doubled since last year. So it depends how you look at his season. The one thing I was probably a little bit disappointed is defensively he hasn't been as profounded as what I would have preferred. But from a scoring point of view, he's been about where I prefer. If you had said I think he's kicked 53, I'm not sure where he's on. If we get another 50 goals out of Jack and 30-odd score assists, I'd say that's a pretty good season thus far. Thanks, boys.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Yeah.